Hey there, so today we have another review. This is a beer from Sierra Nevada. This is the Hop Hunter IPA. Wow, yeah, you can smell it from here actually, so really nice. Again, we're reviewing this pretty much a month fresher than I did last time I reviewed it. So we're like going on like a little bit over 2 months versus last time it was like 3 months or something like that. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, look at this beer. The beer comes in a really nice kind of light gold color, probably a little bit darker than the neuter. The head is actually pretty ugly. Wow. You know what? Hop oils. I imagine the lipids are not very head retentive. And then it has a little bit of this chill haze to it, I assume from just hops, right? A little bit of, Anyway, as I was saying on the nose, when you crack it, the hop oils are very expressive. They're very dank. What's the descriptor I want to give? Yeah, it's diesely, very diesely. With a hop oil, you think, with expressive hop characteristics, sometimes it can be quite tropical. This has almost a thiol thing. It's almost like the kind of the Sauvignon Blanc character that you get from Nelson or some of the Southern Hemisphere hops. It is very basically. Sometimes like beers can have a sort of a rounded kind of aromatic profile where there's a lot of like elements to it, but then sometimes there's sharp elements like thiols just like sing and zing and they're like very clear. It's almost like when there goes a good example is like sometimes you smell like fryer oil from like a restaurant cooking fried chicken or something, right? It's just it wafts and it's very wide and dominating of a note versus when you just like cayenne pepper or buffalo sauce and it just wafts right by you. It's like sharp, right? These are sharp flavors that are very distinct and executed versus a wider waft of fatter aromatics, if that makes any sense. It's earthy, diesely, dank, soil, very Pacific Northwest, honestly. It very much smells like the Portland IPAs that Katie got for me last year. Cheers. So the weird things that Black Up had on the palate, a relatively neutral IPA, 6.2%. Yeah, definitely pull back on the crystal malt, right? You sort of can tell by the color. Definitely some fruitiness. I get a little bit of like white grapefruit and some of that kind of like tangerine, fruity orange clementine thing. A little bit of high line, kind of like juicy citrus fruit. Apologies over there. I don't know how bad this mic is at picking it up, but. Big Rocco there is slurping down some water. I don't know why. I mean, I guess he sees me drinking, so I guess he needs a drink too. So, apologies for the disruption. So, in general, the beer is not that bitter for a Sierra Nevada beer. Solid medium bitterness, but not that bitter for an IPA. Very lean and clean. This is very strange. The more I drink it, the more it reminds me of those lean and clean, earthy, dank Pacific Northwest IPAs. If you had to full blind me, I would probably guess this came out from Portland, which is a good it's got to be good. Portland to Chico, I don't know. It's got to be like 1,000 miles. This is a good amount of distance, but it definitely doesn't taste like a Sierra Nevada beer, which is surprising. I will say the hop oil, despite being so sharp on the nose, is really not that dominant on the palate. Doesn't have that like pure zingy Sauvignon Blanc thing that like Southern Hemisphere hops do. Instead, on the palate, there's more wide, more fat of a flavor, right? You sort of get like a lingering earthiness that just like moves along. All that citrus, the bitter citrus, the fruity sweet citrus I was talking about. Very lean malt bill. It's like light and crackery. Really doesn't show much malt at all. Very modern beer. Wow, it's so crazy that this beer. I think I first reviewed it in 2013. So we're talking about a recipe that's probably at least a decade old, and it tastes like what modern West Coast and modern Pacific Northwest IPAs would taste like. So I guess they were ahead of the curve, or sort of had a feeling for what beers tasted like. Now everybody's pulling out the crystal malt for their beers, but they were doing it 10 years ago just to be cool with Hop Hunter and doing this oil distillate and all this hop oil distillate and all this stuff. Yeah, very light body, very light malt character, a little bit citrusy, a little bit earthy, a little bit dank and diesely, medium bitterness, a little bit bitter, right? It's just all those, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and it's just lean, clean, crushable beer. So, I feel like maybe I'm just biased. Maybe I just know that this thing is like, a month fresher. I feel like I like this beer better than I had it. Like a month ago? I want to say it's about a month ago. Yeah, that makes sense. About a month. Probably a little bit more than a month ago. And then again, maybe am I missing the beer more? Have they locked in this other batch? Because like my batch previously was brewed like May. This one's been brewed in like June, July, right? So, yeah, maybe they dialed it in. I don't know. Or maybe it's just a thought that I'm not going to see this beer for another year, or maybe never again, and then therefore like savor it while you can. The complexity is actually quite nice. As a bit more, little bit of onion, dank garlic thing, but like very, very sparing. It really is tasty. This beer for me gets a solid 94. Yeah, it's good. Hop Hunter. Tasty stuff. I'm very excited to be doing this. What do they call it? The fan favorites box. Cheers later.